Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm writing a story in a week, a whole book in a week. I call it the week book. That would make me the week book coach. Wow. Okay, chapter 14. This spelling. You know, there's some people may start on this video. So, listen, I'm writing a book in a week, but I got this great organization to it. I've been making these videos since October, three months into the fourth month, halfway. This is Thursday. So what happens is, because I make like an hour's worth of videos a day, I can cover a chapter in about 15 minutes. And if I download the transcript and I count the words, it comes out to 8,000 to 10,000 words an hour. And so then if you add those up, it comes up to a 200-page book. And there's like people, I'm starting to hear their voices, and there's no one around. And you know, it's because I've read these writing forums forever. And so, and people saying, you know, I've been working on this story since middle grade. I had a story that I thought of in June of 2010, and I didn't send to any agents until June 2024. 14 years. It took me 14 years to write that book. Now, my first novel, well, that was my first novel. I did a nonfiction book that was about 200 words. I did that in 2007, but I think I did that quickly. Nonfiction can go so fast. Nonfiction has different rules. You can sell nonfiction, self-publishing very well, very easily. And then I wonder if it's easy to find a publisher, because nonfiction's easier. Try self-help. I think this is self-help. Maybe I can find a publisher for this book. find a publisher next week. So I started the book on Monday, and then my goal is to find a publisher by next Friday. I don't know. I mean, it could. Here's a problem. Here's a problem. I have to dispel this too, that I have to upload these things to YouTube, or I have to find some service where, you know, I can do all the transcripts, you know, some sort of app. AI is your friend when it comes to transcripts. That's a benefit of AI, and there's good AI too, because they send me gurus on my social media channels. I've been trained by AI to do this, which is weird. But I don't use, and here's one. Here's something to diss AI. I used AI to make these book promotion projects, and it goes so fast. I can generate like 200 pages in 4 hours, right? No, more than that. It was like 8 hours. I generated 200 pages in 8 hours. I can talk at the rate of a book in 5 hours. 5.5, I think. So I'm fast. This method of writing is faster than AI, and it's better because there's this story pattern. And the upper levels of this story pattern, you see that you're a robot. You're a slave to this pattern. You stutter and stammer to complete this. You'll interrupt people you're talking to hit points in the story pattern. That's a good one too. And it sort of justifies all the times that, you know, people have been knocked down for that would be great. I want to do that. Write an argument, and the characters are going backward and forth, and then show that it's a story arc. and they're like nailing all the points. Whoa, I went too far. This is for beginners. Remember this. This is something that you do every day. You write a book every 5 hours too in your life. Just talking, just conversing. I didn't know we talked so much. I guess we don't really talk that much. My voice gets hoarse when I do this. Chapter 14. Did I cover everything? It doesn't matter if you just clicked in or you just joined somebody who's watching this. Because, here's the meat of it. What sets off the ending. And this is getting to the point. So I don't find a lot of usually I talk about questions in the forums about different stages of writing a book, and how to start, how to end. But there's there's this place called the messy middle. People can't figure this out. You need to learn the story pattern. All right. So you put your characters through the ringer in the middle of your book to see what they were made of, right? And what kind of conclusions they could draw about themselves. Will these help or hinder them in the ending? Was the midpoint disaster good or bad? That's a great thing. That's a great thing from Dwight Swain. So a disaster can be positive, right? You win the lotto. It's a very positive disaster, because what do you do with the money afterwards? And what kind of victim do you become? Because people get jealous. That's an insight into character. Your character is asking what the point. Your character is, what's the point of doing this? You're asking yourself, why am I writing this? I've come so far to this point. Do I have a point? Do I have a theme? Why am I doing this? There's a character doing this. You're doing this because you're writing the story. The characters are doing this because they've made their conclusion. Sometimes they've made their conclusions. Maybe sometimes characters decide, I'm not going to do this. And so you can even just say, okay, I'll write the ending. This is a great strategy. You just write the ending as you are, right? You could write the ending here. Bring them to the castle. Bring them to the chapel. Bring them to the graduation day right here. Figure out what matters the most, and use that as an obstacle. And then I'm on the next note card, and then you could go to the next chapter. And then you need to get the character to the chapel. Oh, they have to but then you could think of this as an obstacle. This is an ending. It seems like it's going to end, right? Or it's the wrong ending. It seems like the wrong ending. This is interesting. Okay, so, this morning I was thinking this is getting too detailed, but no, it's not. You're not getting into the robotic effect. And then you're not getting into the fact where these questions are just telling you what to do, right? So, and you can write a book this way. This is level 3, and I'm sure a lot of books can pass for this. A lot, a lot. Not. I wouldn't say most, but they. Okay, so the character might need to spare the villain first, to reject the ex-lover, to get to the wedding. Or the character may have to defeat the bodyguard or the dragon before they confront the wizard, the king, the queen, the witch. You need to get next door to the climax. That was fun. That was next door to the climax. I came up with that today because I was thinking, well, how do I get you here if you're level, if you're, you haven't even started your book? Why would you watch this video if you haven't started your book? And the reason is, well, you can start your book with the ending, right? The prologue where you're in the ending point somewhere, and then the beginning and then the next chapter, the official start of the book is back in time, a flashback. And it turns into like a 3/4 of the book is a flashback. But you haven't quite gotten to what matters the most. Say you have a difficult issue. Maybe you could make it seem like it's going with, an easy out. A low effort climax. But then there'll be all these indications that it's not, right? Because it's not a true climax. 11:20. I went long on the first one. I hope I'm not scaring off the newbies. You can go back to the beginning, or if you want to follow, me to the ending. You want to see what's at the ending. I was thinking that this was, I'm always talking about levels 1 through 3, about awareness that there's a story pattern, and the story pattern is it's scalable. It goes from the sentence. Yeah, I think the new people should start at the beginning. But this is still, I was thinking this is level 4, but it's not. 4 is higher than this. 4, just seeing the visuals of my newsletter, right? And I was told people get scared away from newsletters. Maybe it's my calendar. That's it. Wow, I'm getting once I get towards the end of my skate. Oh man, look how slow I'm going. Once I get slow, and then I start editing. I start editing and deconstructing the story pattern, even though the story pattern is a deconstruction. So, how do you solve the little problem? The little problem. I made that up today too. There's a lot of firsts in this. I thought it might be just all recaps. It's not. There's lots of firsts. Thank you for showing up. Gratitude. I'm expressing my gratitude. Look at the plane. The plane is behind. See you later.